On the first ever episode of My Old Kitchen, we discussed the Lance Lynn trade to the Chicago White Sox, other possible trades going around in the MLB, thoughts on other MLB free agents. My Old Kitchen is up next. And welcome everyone to the first ever Miles Kitchen. Joining me today in the kitchen is Evan Georges and Andrew Magarani. The first thing we're going to do, the appetizer for these White Sox fans, they've been feasting early, is the White Sox acquiring Lance Lynn. I'm going to send it over to Evan since he won the Yoan Moncada card that I picked from a pack. So, Evan, give me your thoughts on Lance Lynn heading to the South Side for Dane Dunning.
It was quite evident after the Game 3, lack of a better term, or actually a relevant term, of a debacle of a pitching situation, that the Sox probably number one need, it was a starting pitcher that could go with Keuchel and Giolito in a 1-2-3 top of the line starting rotation. And I mean, probably my number one choice was Bauer, but with the financial situation of Jerry Reinsdorf, it probably was a pipe dream. So, I mean, with what was on the table and what can possibly we could get from this, because all we gave up, I mean, Dane Dunning was a very good pitcher for the Sox, but he only threw about 40 innings, and he threw good in 40 innings, but I mean, he's had arm troubles in the past. He's still young, and we still have a lot of young pitching with Dylan Cease, Michael Kopech, and also Jonathan Stever right in the wings, and Jared Kelly coming after that, and Garrett Crochet. So he was a very expendable arm, and to get a guy like Lance Lynn, who's finished in the top 10 in the AL Cy Young the past 2 years, and has just kind of been a innings eater and a guy that I think the Sox really could use as a big piece down the stretch this year and possibly longer, because it said he's been open to extension talks. So, yeah, I'm happy about it.
Well, you two know that there's an Instagram page called MLB Nerds that I don't agree with basically everything he says. So I know I said yesterday that it made more sense for the White Sox to want to contend now than later. Mags, with the White Sox making the move for Lance Lynn, do you think that's the indication that the White Sox think that they could make it to the World Series next year with these three guys, or do you think they should add more to the back of the rotation?
Well, I think 100% the Sox are going for next year. I think for the next couple of years, we're going to see a win-now mode from them. The Lance Lynn thing, I think that one of the reasons I really like this trade over like a Bauer signing is because it really allows the Sox to pursue the win-now more, as far as it gives them the financial flexibility to go out and sign maybe a Michael Brantley or a Liam Hendricks, whereas if they sign someone like Bauer, they'd be a little constricted as far as money goes. So I think that this move, although it's, in a lot of people's opinion, a fleece by the Texas Rangers, I think this move is more than just a win right now, getting a third starter. It's more than just getting Lance Lynn. It's getting financial flexibility to go on to that win now and getting that third starter at the same time.
Well, not only that, but you're also adding a veteran that's been around the ringer how many times?
Oh, he's a workhorse. The guy, I don't know the exact number, but the amount of innings he's pitched over the last 3 years is absolutely incredible. And for a guy that throws, I think, like 90% fastballs, I mean, I don't think you could have gotten a better guy on the trade market.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Was he on that 2011 Cardinals World Series team?
He was, yeah, that was his rookie year.
That was his rookie year. So he's been in that moment in big playoff situations, which but now the White Sox have two guys, and Dallas Keuchel, who's on the 17 Astros, and then you have Lance Lynn on the 2011 Cardinals. But now,
and the thing about that is that Tony La Russa was his manager.
Also big token.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at these
I
White
also
Sox.
think something.
I was looking at the White Sox ERA stats when Evan was going, and you had Giolito and Keuchel at 3.48, and Keuchel was at 1.99. So pretty solid numbers from there. And then it dips off really with Cease at 401. Dane Dunning's already gone, but he was at 3.97. And finally, you had Ronaldo Lopez at a 6.49. So, but then you guys are getting Kopech back. Cease is going to be working with a new pitching coach. I know that Joe Henschel, a good friend of me and Mags's, really liked. And, and then obviously Kopech, Lynn, and Cease. There's three guys you can look at to be the back half of that rotation. Now, another signee that I've heard mixed emotions by Sox fans, Adam Eaton, returning to the South Side, signed a 1-year, $7 million deal. Evan, I know how Mags feels about it. How do you feel about it?
My opinions on it. My first initial reaction when I got the Ken Rosenthal notification on my phone was a disappointment, because I think the word to describe this move in my eyes, off the initial perspective, because hindsight can always be 2020. This can work out great. He can get back to his form he was late in his Sox career and how he was down the stretch in the playoffs for the Nationals in their World Series run. But off a bad 2020, granted it was only 60 games, I thought it was a lazy move. I thought it was a move that the Sox have always been known. You look at when they got Grandal, you look at past signings. Abreu was early on in free agency as well, if I remember correctly. The Sox like to jump the market on guys. They like to try to get it before the market kind of picks off on people. Grandal, Keuchel was pretty early last year as well. I feel like they didn't want to wait around for a guy maybe like Jock or Brantley or Schwarber even at that, with him just getting non-tendered. Like,
Evan, we're breaking.
His locker
Okay.
problems too, but I will keep an open mind to it. He is a winner. He is tough.
Okay, Evan, you're breaking up in and out. So I'm gonna recap what you were saying. Evan is basically saying that he could be a locker room problem. He also thinks Adam Eaton could be a good player. I think that's what he's trying to get at, is it with it only being $7 million, it's a good risk for the White Sox. Is that what you're trying to get at? Okay. Yeah. For those who don't know,
I'm gonna
Evan,
join on my phone real quick and go off my data.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Evan is currently working with, I believe, COVID patients, right, Evan? So he's in a hotel in Terre Haute, and not at home.
Homes.
You know that Wi-Fi at these hotels can be pretty spotty. So we're lucky just to get something out of Evan. So now I'm going to send it down to Mags for the same question I asked Evan, because I know how you feel, but I just want to really hear that Ozzie Guillen voice again.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, so it's not a secret that Ozzie Guillen has blasted Adam Eaton on live television. But it's one of those things where I don't dislike the move if it's going to lead to more moves, but I dislike the move if it's the only move, if that makes sense.
Right.
I don't like the move alone, but if it's one of those moves where it's like, okay, we're going to get Adam Eaton for $7-8 million this year, and then we're going to go out and maybe sign someone onto him, like additionally to kind of like, I don't know, cushion a little bit just in case Adam Eaton you get the Adam Eaton of like 2020, not the Adam Eaton of 2016 and playoffs Adam Eaton. Yeah. So I like it if there's going to be more, maybe signings or something like that that's going to give it a little bit more cushion, because he could be a very good player for us. But I think it's unfair for this to be the only move and the only guy that the Sox rely on.
Right. Well, when I heard it, I thought the White Sox were like, you know what, we're going to go get a veteran right fielder that's been here before, and he just came off a World Series win like a year ago, and we're going to give him for cheap. I didn't know about these locker room issues. I didn't know anything about that because obviously I don't watch White Sox all the time and knew that Ozzie Guillen had blasted him on Comcast Sportsnet. So when I heard that, I was like, well, maybe that's not what they needed. Maybe they should have like I think everyone was trying to say maybe wait out on these other players since
Yep.
the White Sox already have stud players all around on the offense, and then your rotation's starting to look a little bit better. You guys are still in contention for other good players. So do you think that maybe Tony La Russa is willing to take that risk on Adam Eaton for that veteranship? And do you think maybe he can control Adam Eaton from previous grievances with this team?
You want me or Mags to answer that?
I've let you go first twice. I'll let Mags take this one first.
For sure.
Okay, so I do think that Tony La Russa has been around the game long enough to be able to control
That's an understatement.
multiple personalities within a locker room. I mean, the guy started managing in the 70s or something with the Sox. Like, he's been around forever.
Ricky Henderson.
Mhm. He's been around there, so you have to believe that he's had experience managing multiple personalities within a locker room. And I do like having Adam Eaton for that playoff experience because, as we all know, the Sox are such a young team, and they don't really have any guys like that. And specifically position players. They have a guy like Lance Lynn now who's been there, a guy like Keuchel who's been there, but position players, we have a lot of guys who have not had that experience, and I think it's a good move to have Adam Eaton. Whether or not he is a great player on the field, at least we'll have a knowledgeable position player that's been in a high-pressure situation like that to maybe help a guy like Tim Anderson or all these younger guys who might let the pressure get to them a little bit.
Right. Well, watching those Sox games with you in the playoffs, you could clearly tell that they were still really young and not used to these type of situations. I definitely saw that with Madrigal a couple of times in the field. But other than that, they battled with a very good veteran A's team. So, Evan, I'm going to let you answer the question I asked about La Russa being able to maybe control Eaton and make sure that these locker room issues don't rise again.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Mags. I feel like I think that's a positive you can get from the La Russa appointment as manager is he's been around the block and he's never really been the head issue of locker room problems. So I think he can manage it. I think it's also up to Ethan as well because these are grown men. And I mean, comparing La Russa to Robin Ventura I mean, you can read any article on Robin Ventura and he had absolutely zero control of anything within the organization of keeping the camaraderie of a team per se. So I think
all I have to say is Chris Sale and some scissors.
yeah, I mean that, and then Todd Frazier and Drake LaRoche, and a lot of stuff happened that year. And I think also giving Ethan a clean slate as well. I mean, Howie Kendrick did come out, I saw, and say that Ethan was a really good teammate on the Nationals. And I mean, it's just kind of once you get kind of a label in any professional sport, it's kind of hard to shake it. So, I mean, just kind of giving him a second chance and seeing, and it's also a 1-year deal. If he doesn't prove it on the field or show he's a better person in the locker room, you can always let him walk. But there has to come a point that the Sox have to solve that right field issue. Trying to patch it with Nomar.
Well, you thought it was going to be Joey
on.
Gallo. You thought Joey Gallo was a possibility.
I thought, that was
it was almost Jason Hayward. So be lucky.
Almost Jason Hayward as the rumors have gone.
Yeah, be happy it wasn't Jason Hayward. Okay, so Mags is raising his hand, so I think that means he wants to start the new topic of trades he believes can go on besides the Lance Lynn one. Mags, give me your one trade the one player you think is going to get traded and where he's going to go, like his best suitor in your eyes.
Well, I think it's going to be Francisco Lindor. It's not a real tough one right there, but
yeah, that I heard on MLB Network today that it was almost guaranteed that the Indians are going to be trading him because they didn't want to take his $20 million deal.
Yeah, and I saw that there's increasing chance that it could be even before the new year. So it looks like the Indians are probably going to try to unload him. And I mean, I don't blame them with 1 year left. They can probably get some good young talent from him. But I definitely think that it's going to come down between Cincinnati or the New York Mets. And I think it depends on if the New York Mets sign a guy like JT Realmuto or something like that. If they miss out on a guy like that, then I can definitely see them doing all they can to get a guy like Francisco Lindor.
Okay. So so which one do you think would be a better fit for Lindor between the two that you listed?
Better fit, I would probably say the Mets. I really
Okay.
could see Francisco Lindor being one of those guys who handles the New York spotlight and flourishes in it.
So
I mean, he's got
let's
that personality.
let's get creative here. Let's say you're the Cleveland Indians general manager and the Mets just called you and said, "Hey, we want Lindor." Who's the one player that you want in the deal for you to even consider shipping Lindor up to Queens?
It's got to be Andres Jimenez, their
Okay.
rookie shortstop from last year. He played a lot of games for them, and he did really well. I think it's pretty clear that if they don't get Lindor, he's probably going to play more shortstop than even Ahmed Rosario at this point.
Okay.
He did really good in the opportunity he got this year, showing that he can play shortstop at the major league level at a pretty high level. So I think if you're the Cleveland Indians, you want to get him for sure.
Okay. All right, Evan. Who do you think is going to get traded?
Well, first off Mags' trade, I could see Rosario also being like a main piece to go to Cleveland because Cleveland likes guys with years left, and I think he's only been in the league 3 years now, so he has 4 years left. I could see Rosario going to the Indians and possibly being a pretty good player for them. But, a hypothetical trade. I'll trying to think of one. How about this? The Angels are going to
Okay.
ship. No, I'll go Sonny Gray since that's one that's been talked about a lot. I'll go Sonny Gray. You know what? To the Angels. And listen to this. I think
Okay.
if you look at the Angels, I think you guys know what name's coming. I think a trade Sonny Gray for Joe Adell.
Joe
I think
Adell.
you look at
Really?
the Angels. I just don't see where they can put him, and
So,
he'll probably.
so you're telling me that the Reds are going to call up the Angels and acquire another right fielder like they did with Goodwin last year?
Yeah, I think go Winker. They're gonna have Winker in one corner, Castellanos in the other, and then they're gonna put Adele in center.
Okay.
Adele can't play center, and they got Trout, and I mean it is kind of far-fetched. And the Angels, you'll probably see a minor leaguer or two with the Angels, and maybe a guy maybe like T.J. Antone or a good pitcher, maybe the guy what's his name, Maley, maybe a guy like that thrown in as well because the Angels need pitching. So
Right.
maybe like Gray and Maley for Adele and like two like mid-tier guys.
Okay. All right. Well, I got a little bit of a wild one. I've been thinking about this one. What if I'm the Colorado Rockies and I get a call from this team and I go, "Hey, I'll send you Nolan Arenado if you give me Austin Martin." What do you think about that? What do you think about Arenado to the Blue Jays for Martin, since they already have Bo Bichette at short?
That would be some. I mean, that's something that would make him more available with him being blocked by Bichette, and most likely, if everything goes right, we'll be in the majors within like a year, 2 years probably.
His
So
ETA on prospect rankings is 2022.
okay, yeah. So
But sometimes these guys go out and they have phenomenal years in the minors and they're up
yep.
by 2021 with these
Mm-hmm.
college hitters. So Austin Martin gets to go to Colorado. Do you think then
Yep.
he moves either to third and then the Rockies build around Trevor Story and give him a big contract, or do they also ship off Trevor Story? I'll let Mags answer that one.
Well, I would say that if I had to pick between Arenado and Trevor Story being traded, I personally think I think they'd be willing to trade Trevor Story more just for the fact that they already have a guy like Brandon Rodgers who can fill that hole as a
Right.
young prospect. He might not be great or up to Trevor Story's level, but at least they have a guy who's had great seasons in the minors and can fill that need.
Right.
Now, I'm not too sure about their third base prospects or whatever, but they definitely could get more for Nolan Arenado. But I think
Oh yeah, yeah.
that
I'm
Trevor
just
Story is easier to part with.
yeah. I'm just saying like Austin Martin would have to be included in that deal, and then you can add on other minor leaguers, maybe like a reliever or some sorts.
Yeah.
Um,
And they have another good shortstop, Jordan Groshans, in the minors
okay.
too, the Toronto Blue Jays. So that is another good player that the Rockies could get in a trade like that for sure.
Yeah, I just think that the Blue Jays, if they want to make that move forward to being that World Series contender team, they need that star player because of course they have the star prospects, but they don't have that one player that's going to stand apart that's been there, like the White Sox just did with Lance Lynn. Okay, so
Yeah,
then
I agree.
we're going to transition to our next topic, which is free agents. So obviously we talked about Adam Eaton already. He's off the board. He's in Chicago. David Dahl, as you guys just told me, has reported signing a deal with the Texas Rangers. What are other free agents that are out there that you think could sign with the team within maybe the next couple of days or the next couple of weeks? Evan, go ahead and field this one. I think he's already – I don't know if he's trying to be funny with it or if he's actually believing this is his signee.
No, I don't think this is gonna happen. But I changed my background to a George Springer edited picture by one of my buddies on Twitter in a Sox uniform. Nicely done. But signing. I mean, it looks like Liam Hendriks' market's picking up, and I mean, hopefully that's the Sox. And then we got I think Bauer. I think Bauer's. I'm looking at Mags' picture right now, but I think Bauer's gonna go to you know what? He's gonna reunite with his foe and go to the New York Yankees.
You think he'd go to the Yankees?
I've been just because you're seeing a lot of Mets, you're seeing a lot of Angels.
That was my favorite one is when he tweeted "Angels, you up?"
Yeah, like you're seeing a lot of like the obvious teams that you'd think, but I feel like the Yankees are just that dark empire that is just working behind the scenes. You're not going to get the leaks on them, but I think they're working. But he's gonna his foe with him and Garrett Cole didn't really get along back in college when they were on the same staff.
Yeah, they're two
So
totally different people. I can
yeah,
definitely see that.
yeah, and I mean, I think Bauer's gonna end up with the Yankees. I don't know. I'm see what Mag thinks about that. I don't know.
Well, I'm actually going to go opposite what you said. I definitely can see Bauer going to the Angels. He's from California, and I don't think it's a secret that the Los Angeles Angels need pitching.
Oh no, after who's that? Dylan Bundy. There's not much to really talk about because Shohei Ohtani's project has not been going very well, considering that he gets injured almost every game. I could definitely see it going both ways, but if I had to choose, it'd be Trevor Bauer to L.A. Mostly because I've seen how these players, if they're from California, always want to go back and play ball there and be closer to home. Especially like NBA players have been a prime example of that, and Kawhi Leonard and Paul George both going to the Clippers last year. Max, what's your prediction? Name a player and where he's going to go.
So my prediction is actually going to involve the Chicago Cubs, your favorite team. So I really thought that the Cubs should have went after David Dahl. I thought he would have been a good player for them, considering he was going to come cheap, and he did $3 million to the Texas Rangers, which I think could be a really good signing for them. He's obviously had some injury problems, but he could become an all-star again. But I think that because they missed out on a guy like that and they got rid of a guy like Schwarber and they got rid of Almora, they're going to need an outfielder. I think they're going to I think they're going to sign Eddie Rosario to maybe like one of those 1-year deals where he can do sort of what Marcell Ozuna did or Josh Donaldson did and
Right.
boost his stock. And the Cubs need bats anyways. And he probably could come at a relatively fair price and give them a good bat in the middle of their order.
Yeah, because we definitely do need that, as you're right. And if the trade rumors are true, the Cubs are trying to ship off Darvish. And if Darvish goes, and I've said this now after seeing these rumors, is wherever he goes, Hayward's going to go with him. So that's 2 big contracts the Cubs would be dumping. But then that's 2 outfield positions that would be open. The only one being closed off is center field because Ian Happ having a breakout year finally. I could definitely see that. We definitely need another bat. Eddie Rosario. I don't think it's going to be a contention year for the Cubs. I think it's going to be a retool year. And I think Eddie Rosario just being there will help him, as you said, set up for his market next year. Evan, what do you think about Eddie Rosario being on the north side?
I think that could be a really good fit. I mean, they're trying – I feel like that's something that the Cubs have kind of struggled with, is kind of like finding that cheap guy that can kind of overfill their value. I mean, they try to do with Daniel Descalso, and that didn't really pay off. And I feel like that – I mean, Jeffers for the pen worked out for them with a pretty feasible contract, but I feel like Rosario could be good. I mean, he can make really good contact. He's kind of a below-average fielder, but has a ton of pop. And
let's be honest, the Cubs are willing to play Kyle Schwarber in left field. I don't think Eddie Rosario is going to be much of a doubt.
That's true. That's true. I mean, he does bring some very similar tools that Schwarber has. I think he could really gel well with the team. I mean, they could definitely do worse. And I mean, for what their market value is of that they're probably getting the range of for left field, I think that's pretty good signing for him. He's killed the Sox.
Yeah.
Get him out of the AL Central.
Yeah. I mean, he's already out of the AL Central unless he decides to sign with maybe like the Kansas City Royals. I'll say so. My big one is, if I had to pick, it would be DJ LeMahieu heading to our nation's capital, the Washington Nationals. I think that'd be a good place for him because I think he'd get his value back because he definitely took the pay cut when he went to the Bronx, and he'd be a good table setter for Juan Soto because, as me and Mags had discussed, the Nationals clearly were missing that table setter guy. They didn't really have many good hitters after Juan Soto. Juan Soto just carried the team all year long, and they still finished like, what, 3rd or 4th in the division this year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were definitely missing Anthony Rendon's bat.
Exactly. And they don't have much after that because Howie Kendrick's a little bit older now. I can't even tell you who their other position players are besides Juan Soto and
Trey Turner.
Oh, they were missing out.
Trey Turner and Soto.
They were missing on Ryan Zimmerman this year. He decided to opt out.
Yep.
And the thing about the Nationals is Howie Kendrick, Adam Eaton, Eric Thames, all those guys were free agents. Adam Eaton's obviously gone, but Thames, Kendrick, and they even lost Michael Taylor to the Royals. Those are all guys that they lost in this offseason so far. So they've lost a lot of bats.
Well, the good thing is, too, is that they also have Starlin Castro, who I think is a strong enough arm to move over to third. But DJ Mayhew can also play first because I know Ryan Zimmerman's getting up there in age. So maybe that could be a little bit of a transition phase for them. But if I were to be like the Nationals manager, it would be Zimmerman at first, LeMahieu at second, Turner at short, and then I'd move Castro to third. Because Castro's still a good hitter. You could place him in the 2 spot because he's also very good on getting on base.
Yep. Yeah, him and Trey Turner 1-2 in the lineups.
Exactly.
That's pretty solid 1-2 to be in the order.
So you're thinking Trey Turner, DJ, and then you'd put Castro third and then put Juan Soto at cleanup? Or would you put Juan Soto at third? And then
I put Soto cleanup and DJ third.
Yeah, I'd probably do that.
Because they already have a rotation if they can stay healthy. That's their biggest issue. Strasburg in and out of the rotation. He's so inconsistent with his starts every year. Scherzer finally had a down year, but he's getting up there in age. And Patrick Corbin didn't have a good year. But you can always count on him to bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to transition to our next one, which This is what Evan likes to do. Evan likes to just randomly message us and say, guess this player, and then he would give us the team and the positions, and we have to guess. And he loves to do this, so I thought it'd be cool to give him a segment. Evan guesses. So Evan's got 3 players lined up for me and Mags. Me and Mags ask questions, as in the 20 questions rules. So Evan's got his first player lined up. Evan.
Yep.
So I'll have Mags have the honors. Ask the first question on your player.
Okay, so is it yes or no questions or just?
Yeah, do yes or no questions. We'll do that.
Okay. Does he play in the National League?
You mean currently, or has he?
Oh, so it's the current player. At least we know that.
Oh shoot! Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you kind of just gave away another question there, buddy.
Okay, no, he's not play in the NL.
Okay, so then my question has to be: is he a position player or is he a pitcher? Or I'll say is he a position player?
He's not a position player.
All right, so he's a pitcher that's not in the National League.
All right, and just to be clear, is he a current player?
He did pitch in 2020.
Okay, so yeah, I'd say.
Is he right-handed?
He is right-handed.
All right, so it's a right-handed pitcher that pitched in baseball last year.
In the American League.
In the American League.
Okay.
He has been in the National League.
Is he in the AL Central?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Has he won a World Series?
He is not. No, none of these teams have won a World Series.
I'm just going to go down the list for teams. Is he on the Royals?
He is on the Royals.
Oh.
Wow. Is he a starter?
He has not started a game this past year.
So he's a relief or closer.
Yeah, I know who it is. Was he a starter?
He did start games before, yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Dun, dun.
Miles over there looking at the roster.
I really am. I don't really know the Royals roster all that great. Is it Ian Kennedy?
It is not.
Oh.
Bum, bum, bum.
That sucks. That was my guess. Okay. Is he over the age of 30?
When's his birthday? Yes.
Oh, man, I'm looking for pictures that over 30, and there's not too many of them on the Royals because the Royals are such a rebuilding team.
Gosh.
Wow.
Does Max have it?
I'm just gonna say Jesse Hahn because he's on here.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, there we
That's what I
go.
was gonna say.
Hey, I can share my screen to prove
He's the
that
only pitcher that's over
Dang.
30.
Jesse Hahn.
He's the only one.
Right,
Okay.
no, I can't. I'll show my tab.
He was a Padre in A, and now he's on the Royals. Had a .52 ERA in 18 games last year.
I legit do not remember him pitching a single game last year.
5
when I
holds,
looked him up.
3 saves, and 3 save opportunities. In 17.1 innings pitched, he only allowed 4 hits and 1 earned run. Wow.
He pitched quite good.
Evan went and found a gem on the Kansas City Royals.
Oh, just wait for these next two.
All right.
Wait for these next two.
All right. Player number 2. I got the guess, Jesse Hahn. So, Max, you have the first question.
He's next to our top. That was the layup.
Jesse Hahn was a layup?
All right.
What we shoot, like half-court shots?
Is he a current or?
He's not.
Yeah, is he a current player?
He's not a current player.
Okay.
Is he a pitcher?
No.
Okay, so we're looking for position players now.
Is he a coach in a major league organization?
I do not know that, so let's see.
He hasn't really did his homework, has he?
Well, Evan and I talked about a random player earlier,
we
so I thought
did.
maybe.
You thought maybe he's gonna sneak in?
Yeah.
No, this guy is not a coach. No, it is not Chris Johnson.
Oh, so this guy is retired.
Yeah, he's
Very
not playing
retired.
anymore.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Not even
This
coaching.
guy's not.
So I can't have the roster pulled up because I won't find him.
Yeah.
Mags, it's your turn for a question.
Did this player ever make an All-Star game?
He did not. He was close. Looks like at least 3 years, but no All-Star game.
Did he play in the National League?
Not a single season in the National League.
Wow. An All-American League guy.
Did he play in the 2000s?
Yes. What do you mean? What's your
After the year
like,
2000.
Yeah, he's played after year 2000.
So he's a more current guy then.
The fact that he wasn't an All-Star kind of scares me. Because that means you can't
Yeah.
ask like any type of awards because there's no way he won an award and
Yeah,
never made an All-Star game.
it's not like this guy only played like 10 games September call, but this guy had a pretty extensive career.
Did he play in the AL? I'm gonna go AL West.
For these questions, you guys want? Yeah, he did. Let's see. Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Okay. So let me add on to that. Did he play most of his career in the AL West?
He did not. Yeah, that would not be the division I think that you would know.
He'd be
him
known for? Okay.
Yeah, that would not be the division you would be known for.
That helps.
Did this guy win the World Series?
Oh, they didn't win. Wait, possibly.
Possibly.
No,
Jesus,
give me a second. Who won the 2012 World Series?
That would be the Giants.
No, he didn't win a World Series.
Okay, what was that? That's like a little clue there.
That he's in the 2010s.
Yeah. Well, I said it was all. I told you guys before, it was players that we grew up watching.
No. Okay, no. Then it couldn't be him. I was trying to lean towards Jason Varitek, but I know that's not right.
Okay. So he's not known for playing in the AL West, correct?
Right. So he either played in the
That
AL
would
Central or
probably-
AL East.
He's kind of a journeyman. I would say the AL West is that's the second. A team in the AL West is the second team that probably comes to mind for him.
Okay.
Okay, so did he spend more than 4 years on an AL East team?
He's probably looking up.
Are you asking the same team or different teams?
Just any team.
Yes.
Okay.
He spent more than 4 years in the AL East.
Okay. Was he an outfielder?
That was not his primary position, though.
Okay, so it was a secondary position. Wow.
Okay, here we
This
go.
one's going to be more questions.
Yeah,
I
this
saw
one
about this guy earlier today, so that's why I put him in the archives. The third one's going to be wild. This
Okay,
the
so-
third one.
You said something earlier, so I'm just going to ask. Did he play in the 2012 World Series?
Giants beat the Tigers, right?
Yeah.
2012 was the Tigers.
No, he didn't play.
You asked that. Why did you ask that?
no. Because the team he played on was a good team, so I can't remember. 2012 World Series.
trying to think of teams that were like really good in 2012, and that's like the Cardinals. He must have been was okay. Evan's been saying he's All American League, so I can't really remember who was really good in the American League at that time. I know Texas
Well,
was, Detroit was, Baltimore
And Scott
was.
didn't make any All-Star games, so I don't know if he was really good. But
Never made an All-Star game. Okay, so it's not Adam Jones.
Okay.
Was
Go
he
ahead.
was he a right-handed hitter?
he was, yes.
Okay, and was he on an American League East team during the 2012 season?
He did play a part, yes.
A part? I thought he must have gotten traded. Wow, Evan.
Okay, let me rephrase. Let's like the terms that. Did he finish the year with a AL East team?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Okay.
Did that team make the playoffs?
No.
Okay, so that eliminates 2 teams then. That means it can't be Baltimore or the Yankees.
So it's either the Red Sox, Rays, or Blue Jays.
Okay, was he on the Red Sox?
Yes.
Okay. I was starting to think that too
We're
because
getting to the nitty-gritty. Miles, you are up.
was it Will Middlebrooks?
No.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Okay. Oh my gosh, Evan, I think I know who it is.
I think I know what you're going to say.
Oh, I think I found him. No, wait, no, he's lefty.
Oh no, it can't be him. You said AL West. Wait, you said righty, correct?
Yeah. I think there's only one player.
Is it Cody Ross?
No.
Oh man, what did Evan do?
Damn. We're going to go through all these.
Yeah, go through the entire
The
20.
69 and 93 Red Sox.
You said they were good, Evan.
Okay.
Dude, they won in 11, didn't they?
They won in 13.
13. I knew they won one of those years.
They beat the Cardinals
Oh
in
my
13.
gosh, I know who it is, I think.
Oh my goodness. Was he a starter? Like a start? Like did he start on the team, or was he a bench player?
It looks like a bench player.
Oh gosh, that ruins my
Mags is
answer.
pick now. Yeah.
That ruined my guess.
I
Jeez, Evan.
see Scott Pasednik on here, and I want to say it since he was on the White Sox in 05, but he played on Milwaukee for 2 years.
The player I was going to guess was Michael Vilas, but he said he played in the AL West, and he never did. So
Meg, I'm surprised you haven't gotten it yet, to be honest.
me?
Yeah. I did a mock thing before this of the players I thought Miles would get the third one, and I thought you would get the first and second, but Miles swooped in and got the first one.
Is it Danny Valencia?
Yeah, it is.
Danny
Boy
Valencia.
Valencia. From
I
the
know there he
Twins
is.
to the Oakland A. Because that's the thing is because personal memory, I just remember him because he was like a rookie on those good Twins teams, and he was like really good and kind of fell off, and then he was like kind of good for the A's.
Those were the 2 Joe Mauer years, right? When he won back-to-back MVPs, 2010 and 2011. Or am I
I
confusing?
believe so, yeah. Because then they traded him, yeah. Because
Or am I
he
confusing
played.
Okay, so I know that Mauer won 2, and then Justin Morneau randomly won 1 within that time frame. But I think he was like in the mid 2000s.
Morneau was 06. Morneau
That's
was
what it was.
06, and then Mauer, yeah.
Okay.
All right, this third one. I don't know. This one, I don't know. It's probably the same difficulty as Valencia.
I'm supposed to know this guy, so I feel like the pressure's on me in this round. So Maggie's got the gas, so I get to go first. So I'll ask: was he a pitcher or position player?
Position player.
Let's change to no yes or no questions.
So he was a position player. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's ask questions that aren't just yes and no.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll get it.
Yeah, that moved
He's
by
a
a little bit
position
quicker.
player.
Okay, give me a 5-year time span in which he played.
A 5-year time span.
Yeah, just like the 5-year time span in which he was like the best.
If this-
2015 to now.
2015 to now.
also,
I mean, that doesn't mean he's like still playing.
is it Addison
Yeah.
Russell?
No.
I know Evan would try to like do something like
So,
that.
I would not give one that easy. You guys have seen my
Ooh.
messages of players. These are the most.
Okay.
These are guys you haven't thought about in like 4 or 5 years. That's just pop into my head randomly.
Okay, so my question is then, what team did he play for in 2020?
He's currently not playing baseball.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
he's
what-
not even the minors. No,
so you said it was specifically made for me, so I have to ask: was he a Cub?
he was not a Cub. No.
He's not a Cub. Okay, so we can eliminate that. I don't have to think too hard about Chris Coughlin.
My
You said he
third
was a
one was
position
originally
player?
a Cub, but I changed it. Yeah, it's a position player.
Yeah, we got that straightened out.
Okay, what season was his last playing in the major leagues?
His last major league season was 2017.
Okay.
Was he in the National League or the American League?
All National League.
All National League guy.
All right. What division, National League?
NL Central, NL West.
All right, so I'm gonna go down the list then. Was he on the? I'm gonna do a shot in the dark. Was he a Cardinal?
Yes, he did play for the Cardinals.
Okay.
In 2017? Okay, was he an infielder?
No. Well, it doesn't. He played for the Cardinals in his career.
Oh, he in 2017. Okay. All right.
I don't want to ask like a straight up question like what team was he on, so we just look up the roster as I'm trying to beat around the bush on that type of question. And I almost put in John Jay, but I remember that he was a Cub for like half a season. So what NO I don't want to ask that either. What was his like primary position?
He was an outfielder. I'll get his. It looks like corner outfields, primarily left field.
Shocker that Evan picked a outfielder from the St. Louis Cardinals because they get passed around everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like I've thought like 3 or 4 different Cardinal outfielders, and I can remember all the teams they've played for. Like I thought of Tommy Pham, but he played in Tampa. Scott Pasednik, Randall Grichuk. I'm trying to think of other ones that may have burned us.
Okay, so was he in the NL Central or did you say NL West or East?
West.
Okay, so was he in NL Central or NL West in 2017?
Yeah.
Which one in 2017?
He was in the NL West in 2017.
Okay.
Did his team make the playoffs that year?
Let's see. They did. They did.
So he's probably a Dodger. No. That also put the Rockies in because the Rockies beat the Cubs in the wild card that year. No, they didn't. That was 18. Oh, because that was the year Colorado and Arizona met in the wild card, and then that's the year that oh man, what's the reliever that traded to Cincinnati from Arizona? Archie Bradley got the big RBI triple against Clayton Kershaw, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they got swept that series though. So
Yeah, they still lost because the Dodgers were overpowered that year.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. I believe it's
so
yeah.
yeah. Said
So they got JD Martinez. That's crazy.
okay, so
I think
narrows
he
it
just
down.
revealed that it's the Arizona Diamondbacks.
No, I was just looking because we were talking about the Diamondbacks. I was just
Oh,
looking
okay.
at.
Because you said oh they hit JD Martinez. I thought maybe you're looking at the guy.
No, I was just looking at their roster because you brought up Archie Bradley.
Okay, did his team make it to the NLCS?
His team did not make the NLCS.
Did they make it out of the wild card?
They did make it out of the wild card.
So it's the Diamondbacks.
It's the Diamondbacks.
Okay, so
I had to throw you off the
Diamondbacks
scent.
2017. Wait, no, you said. Oh my God, I think I know who it is. Dude.
Did you really just go out and pick? I think I know who you picked too.
Mags' turn.
Is it Jeremy Hazelbaker?
Jeremy Hazelbaker. Jeremy Hazelbaker to round it out.
Wow.
Where is he at? I'm trying to find him. There he is.
Honestly got the short end of this. He hit 350 that year, and he didn't play another at bat in the major leagues. He's
Wow.
only 33.
He played 1 year in St. Louis. How did you
He
go
was
out and
good 2
find?
years total.
Yeah.
He had a cool name.
He's
And
an
You know-
Indiana
he
boy.
started out really hot for the Cardinals.
Do you know who I thought you picked, Evan?
Who?
Yasmani Tomas.
Yasmani. Yeah, Hazelbaker, because he's from Indiana, too.
I
He's not
literally
behind
thought
him.
you picked Yasmani.
Where's Jeremy Hazelbaker up to? Oh.
This picture of him in a
Fourth.
Twins hat.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I saw that. That was weird.
Was that his minor league team that he played for?
Yeah, I think in 2018 he played for the Twins minor league AAA team. He's playing in Korea now, I think it says.
You know what? The reason why I don't remember him on the Cardinals is because that was the year they weren't very good, and the Cubs kind of ran right past him every time they played. I guess they went 86 and 76, but that's not good considering it's the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah, he played 2019 in the Korean League. And I don't know if he – yeah, I don't think he played anywhere this year.
Did you guys get to watch the KBO when it was on ESPN when there was no MLB baseball?
I was up that early. I would tune in sometimes.
You wouldn't watch like the afternoon game when they replay it later?
No, I usually watch it live.
The
At like 6 a.m.
The first thing I thought when I watched that KBO, because you said something about with Hazelbaker playing there, they play the games
2019.
so much more different than us Americans do. I don't know if you did you feel the same way when you got to watch those couple of games?
Yeah, they definitely like play like a more like a small ball approach, and their power hitter. They usually only have like a few guys that just hit bombs, and everyone else is just getting on base.
The biggest thing for me was their defense.
Yeah.
They really. I think in America we don't really care if you play great defense as long as you go out and hit 30, 40 bombs, and we kind of just shrug our shoulders and say that's Adam Dunn.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeremy Hazelbaker played 2020 in the Australian Baseball League.
They play baseball in Australia?
Yes, sir. Where's Mag? Dang.
All right, so the last topic we have before we get back into the KBO is I had all of us go on the random team generator, and whatever team you got, you have to pick what you think they should do in this off season. So I'm gonna do the worst one first. Evan got the St. Louis Cardinals. So Evan, go ahead and tell us what you think the Cardinals should do with their squad heading into the 2021 season.
I mean, it's kind of like the typical Cardinals we've seen ever since Pujols left is just kind of build from within. Jack Flaherty's really good. Goldschmidt's still a good player.
Mikolas
Carpenter's
didn't do
kind of on the
too
decline.
bad, right? Mikolas didn't do too bad.
Yeah, he was all right. Wainwright actually kind of had like a rebound type season.
Yeah, but he's a free agent, isn't
Um,
he?
yeah, yeah. So he might be gone or retired. Yeah. I mean Fowler's still there. Bader. I mean the thing that's really probably gonna bite him because the Cardinals kind of do the same stuff the Astros do. I mean not Astros, sorry, Rays. And trading a Rosarena. I mean that could have been such a big piece for him, but I think they need to get another starting pitcher to try to feed off Flaherty. I don't know what level they're getting. Maybe like a Jake Odorizzi type. I'm thinking they'll also have Jordan Hicks back, which
Right.
they did not have because of COVID concerns because he's type 1 diabetic, I'm pretty sure. So they got that going for them. I mean they're gaining basically a closer that's kind of like a free agent pickup since he didn't play last year, but yeah, I'd probably trade their number one need. I think is a starting pitcher to go off Flaherty.
Right. Because
Um,
after him, there's not much.
yeah, there's not much. I mean, they got Liebertor, but he might only be a year away or maybe a September call up in the minors. Alex Reyes showed some potential. I don't know if he's gonna be a starter. Yeah, I think like getting like a Jake Odorizzi type. Cause Cardinals aren't going to spend money like major money. I mean,
Right.
they let Albert Pujols walk. I mean, they're not going to spend major money. So
Well,
get Jake Odorizzi, maybe get another guy to fill out the rotation. I mean, their highest is probably, I mean, looking at the state, maybe depending on what other teams do, win the NL Central, doubtful. Probably their peak is NL wild card. I mean, I just don't think they're a very good team. Probably around 500. I mean, based
there's a
on the
name,
math.
the name that you didn't mention that I have to ask as a Cub fan. Um,
Hmm.
Yadier Molina just hit free agency. He's been with the club for
Yeah.
what since like 2006. I think that was his
6,
rookie
yeah,
year.
you get that big home run against the Mets in the NLCS is like
Yeah, and
his
they won the
first
World Series
moment.
that year against
Yep,
Detroit.
yep,
So
yep.
the question I have to ask you, Evan, is if you're the Cardinals, do you bring back Yachty, or do you think it's time to move on and build for the future?
I think the fact that they've had all this time to get an extension, I think he goes somewhere else. I don't. Maybe he's probably a good quality backup for a team that doesn't have like a star catcher. Possibly, who's the Braves catcher right now?
It was
They
Darno,
they got Darno.
but I don't know if he
Um,
hit free agency or not. Mags would be the one to know that. He's shaking
yeah,
his
he's
head, so
he's
no.
he's still there. I think maybe Molina goes to the Braves. I don't think he ends up back on the Cardinals though. I don't know. Just a hunch.
Yeah. So I saw some early reports like late in the year after the Cardinals got eliminated by the Padres that Wainwright and Yachty were both interested in maybe leaving together and going to the same team
Yeah.
and maybe getting like one more run
And
at it.
yeah,
And
and the
I think
Braves would make sense.
exactly because the Braves still need starting pitching because
Yeah, like a fifth guy, because
yes,
Morton.
and he's
Wait,
not
no, they
bad.
just got Morton. Yeah,
Right, but he's
yeah,
not bad. Even like they could use him
yeah,
as a reliever because that's what the Cardinals used him in '06 was
yeah.
a
And then
reliever in the playoffs.
yeah, and even Mike Soroka. I mean, he tore his Achilles in September, and that's like or August, and that's like a 12-month rehab. So, I mean,
Well,
banking on him to even pitch at all, like, so that's
right,
a guy that may not even be in the picture. So, I mean,
right.
I could see both going to the Braves.
And the good thing is, well, I don't want to say the good thing is, but the bright side of Soroka's injury was the fact that Max Fried stepped up for the Braves. So the good thing
Hmm.
that's a good thing for the Braves. But I could
Yeah,
see
and
that
Ian
being the
Anderson or Anderson too.
yeah. I could definitely see Yachty and Adam Wainwright heading to Atlanta, and that'd be a good fit for them, especially when they need veterans when they have so many young guys in their rotation already. Mags,
Definitely.
you are second. I don't remember what team you got, so go ahead and tell us which team you did get.
I picked the Philadelphia Phillies.
That's right. That's right. You and I both
Hmm.
landed in the NL East.
Yep. And I think
The only
the
free agent
big
signing you
thing,
guys have done is the new president of baseball operations.
yeah, Dave Dombrowski, which is kind of I mean, it's a good move as far as getting someone who's been around the game of baseball and knows what they're doing, has the experience. But for a team that has been said that they're trying to save money, dump contracts to sign a guy like Dave Dombrowski, who's notorious for spending money. It just makes you wonder a little bit exactly what they're trying to do. But I'm going to take into account that they do need to save some money. So I think the biggest thing for them, and I'm not even going to give specifics on who they should trade for, who they should trade with, or whatever. But I think just exploring the trade market heavily. I don't think they really have the room to dive into free agency. And a lot of people have said they could be interested in Liam Hendricks, but if there becomes a bidding war or something for him, I just really don't see the Phillies bidding and getting into a bidding war for a reliever. I think their best move is going to be exploring the trade market heavily, whether it's dumping contracts or obtaining major league talent to help them compete again. So I think the Phillies are even kind of confused on whether or not they want to dump contracts and get younger, cheaper players, or if they want to compete. So, I mean, that's why I'm going to say just diving into the trade market heavily is going to be beneficial either way, no matter what direction they decide to go.
Okay. So I like what Evan said about the Cardinals, their ceiling. And so what do you think the Phillies ceiling could be heading into the 2021 season? Because obviously you and I have discussed this, the NL East is literally up for grabs for any team.
Yeah.
It's in that division. The Braves, Phillies, the Mets, the Marlins somehow did really good last year. And what's the one team I'm missing?
Which one did you say?
Mets. I think you said Mets.
Nationals, Mets, Braves,
Nationals, Mets, Braves,
Phillies,
Marlins.
and Marlins. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so with that being said, I do agree with what we said before that the division could be up for grabs for anybody. I mean, Atlanta is probably the clear favorite right now, but there's multiple teams within the division that just won recently, like the Nationals, and they're not a bad team. I mean, the pitching was a little down this year, but we all know when that pitching rotation's on, it could lead them straight to the World Series. The Marlins took a huge step forward. In my eyes, they're only going to get better with the more experience and the addition of key veterans that can play valuable roles and provide to the team, because they have a boatload of young talent, especially within their pitching.
Right.
But I say the Phillies, if I'm the Phillies, I would try to make a run for it, given the fact that there's multiple teams within the division that can make a run for it, and I think they're one of them. Yeah, they're going to lose JT Realmuto. I really don't think that they're going to
They
be
don't have the
able to
money for
re-sign him. They don't. And that's why I say exploring the trade market will be really good for them. They can go out and get a reliever, because I know it's been rumored they are looking for some sort of relief help. They can go out and get a reliever. I saw that they could potentially go after a guy like Josh Hader. If Josh Hader's available, then I say the Phillies should go after a guy like that.
Well, okay.
And I think they're gonna have to replace Didi Gregorius.
I was gonna ask, is Didi sign a 2-year deal and he's gonna be back for next year, or if it was a 1-year deal, then he is a free agent.
He is a free agent, and if they can sign Didi back or someone like that for a price they can afford, go for it. I mean, I'm not saying avoid signing free agents, but I think the biggest thing for them to improve their ball club is going to be really exploring the trade market, because that's where they're going to be able to either A, dump contracts, or B, get players that are going to be at a quality to where they can fit into their team and still keep them competitive despite the losses that they're going to have in free agency.
Okay. So I know we talked about this name a lot for being a trade chip for a certain franchise that I love more than anything. So let's say the Phillies miss out on JT Realmuto. Realmuto signed somewhere else. Do the Phillies then call my beloved Cubs and try to get Wilson Contreras? And then if so, what do you think the Phillies would have to give up in order to get Contreras to come to the city of brotherly love?
Well, that would honestly be a pretty good pickup for them. Not a bad replacement by any means. And
A lot cheaper.
he's a young catcher who has a great arm.
All-star.
Yeah, he has a fantastic arm behind the plate. He's got the potential to hit a lot better than he did this year. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
It's pretty much
But
any
I
Cubs
think,
player if you mention them. I'll tell you.
yeah.
I'll tell you that all of them could hit better than what they did.
And the Phillies they don't have a great farm, but they have a pretty decent farm, and the Cubs could get some good talent.
Yeah.
They could get guys like Bryson
Spencer
Stott, Spencer Howard, good players.
I have
Spencer
heard about
Howard
Spencer
would probably
Howard.
be the key guy that
Okay.
I would think the Cubs would go after if they were to get a player like Wilson Contreras. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's it for the Philly. Evan, anything you want to add on to the Phillies?
No, I mean they're in a really tough spot. I mean they have Harper's contract, so I mean they got to try to win. But
And not only Harper's, but you put Zach Wheeler's on top of that.
yeah, Wheeler's
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, I mean, and then Reese Hoskins is. I mean,
He's coming
good
up.
player, but yeah, he kind of had a slow start the last year too. So I mean they're in a tough situation with the Braves
Yeah.
kind of looking like they're going to be in like cruise control, and the Mets are going to start spending stupid money as a word thrown around in the NL East.
Yeah.
But
They have
yeah,
a chance to stay competitive if they explore the trade market.
Yeah.
That's going
Right.
to be their best bet.
I think going out and
getting
getting these these 1 year guys that can produce for them. I always feel like if you look at these World Series teams, they always have those 1 year guys that stepped up and help their market a lot and help them win.
Yep. Yeah, I think they're closer to like the Marlins than they are to the Braves, I'd say though.
But
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. All right. So the final team was mine. I got the Washington Nationals, and right when Evan was going, I was looking at the Nationals roster, and I think what happened between 2019 when they won and 2020 is that they were so comfortable with what they had. They thought that Kurt Suzuki, Howie Kendrick, Adam Eaton were going to come back doing what they were doing the year before, and then they tried to replace Anthony Rendon, I think, through a strategy of Moneyball by signing Castro, Thames, and there was one more that they got, right? There was another player they went out and signed last year. Or is it just those two?
Those are the two that come to mind.
Yeah. I know they got Jan Gomes. But I think what really is that they got lazy and they liked what they had, and they didn't want to build off of what they did last year. So it was really just Juan Soto carrying the load last year, and then Trey Turner had a great year, very underrated season. You never would think that from him, especially how little media attention he got. But you have Scherzer's turning 36, Strasburg's 32, and Patrick Corbin is, I believe, 30 or 31. Patrick Corbin is 31. So this rotation is getting a lot older. Their bullpen is full of nobodies. I couldn't tell you. The only name I recognize is Will Harris and Dakota Hudson. So I think if I'm the Nationals, I need to go be like, you know what? If I want to win another World Series, I need to go out and get some better players than what I got last year, because Soto is still really young and still really good. And I only got, maybe like 3 or 4 years left of him. And then Scherzer is going to be – his contract's coming up, and he'll be too old to come back and expect to be the same Max Scherzer we all know. Strasburg is in and out of the rotation consistently, and Patrick Corbin he did not have a good year last year. So the fact that the Nationals are linked to Chris Bryant is, I think, a good sign for me as a National fan. Well, not me as a National fan, but if I'm a Nationals fan, then it's a good sign for me. And then I would try to get a catcher. I think that's another big one. I'd try to explore DJ LeMahieu, like I mentioned earlier. Try to add another bet to the starting lineup. But I think another arm in the starting rotation would be great.
Yeah, and I think that I agree with what you said. They got comfortable, and I think it was more the emergence of Juan Soto in the playoffs, and they kind of just put all their eggs in one basket with Juan Soto.
Right.
to kind of rely on him. And even though he's a fantastic, phenomenal player, it's really unfair to just rely on one guy like that
Well, I can
to
think of another.
replace Anthony Rendon.
I can think of another right fielder that the Nationals relied on for way too long, and he just ended up taking a contract somewhere else, and they built around him.
Yeah. So I agree. They need to get better players to surround Soto, and I think that you're right. They should go after DJ LeMahieu, and even if they miss out on him, they should go after Real Muto. Those should be the two guys they pursue heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, because you could keep Kurt Suzuki as like a veteran leader, because I still think he's really liked in the Nationals locker room. But look at Scherzer's numbers. He had a 5.4 record, but 3.74 ERA. I don't think he's ever been that high as far as I can remember. His highest ERA since his breakout year in Detroit when he won 21 games was a 2.90. And then he went to 3.15. And after that, he was below 3 for every year since.
Yeah, it's Father Time's undefeated. It's a thing that unfortunately everybody gets old, and at some point you can't help but decline. And it helps that they have a young guy. I don't know if you know who it is, but Jackson Rutledge. He's a pretty good pitcher. They have some good pitching prospects. Yeah, they have some pretty good pitching prospects. I could say that. And actually, fun fact: if you look, their top 10 prospects in the whole organization are all pitchers. So that's the really good thing about that. And that's why if I'm them, I would pursue a bat more than a pitcher. I do think they need to add pitching, no doubt. But I think the biggest need is finding that bat to replace Rendon, because last year they were really missing a bat around Juan Soto and Trey Turner.
Well, they just headed into this 2020 year, and they had all this momentum in the world for people to say, hey, you know what, they could possibly go back. But they didn't do anything else. They just thought that everyone was going to be the same player they were last year. And they just didn't spend any money. They didn't do anything to make their team any better. And honestly, this might be the 2019 Nationals was the luckiest run I had ever seen from a playoff team. Because they should have lost to Milwaukee if Trent Grisham didn't drop that ball. They should have lost to the Dodgers. The Dodgers just plain out did not show up for that series. They swept the Cardinals, who the Cardinals somehow scored 10 runs on the Braves in the first inning. And somehow, some way, the Nationals go to Houston and beat them all 4 times and win the World Series. And it was just a couple of feet from not being that, because Howie Kendrick just hit the pole on a fly ball. Evan, what do you think of the Washington Nationals?
I think they're kind of a lot of things have to go right. I mean, 2019 season, it all kind of fell into place. And even then, I mean, Trey Turner, all-star type player, Juan Soto, all-star. But then what else do they got hitting-wise? I mean, there's 9 guys in a batting order. If you only have 2, it's like
Exactly.
They don't have anything outside pitching. I mean, I don't like their lineup I don't like their roster construction at all. It's like they're trying to be the Indians, but like the Indians like just plug new guys in. Like if Strasburg was on the Indians and he got hurt, they'd just put in like, I don't know, like Aaron Savali or Zach Plesac, and they'd be just as good. Like, I don't know. It's just like the national structure of their rosters just not really built for continued success. And I think they get. I could see them getting last again. Like, I don't know.
So when you say try and be like the Cleveland Indians, do you mean like not having the best lineup but having great pitching all around?
Yeah, trying to like build, because you look at the Indians lineup, they've always had Lindor and Ramirez,
and then they had Santana a couple of times.
Yeah. Like I mean, and then they just kind of like plug in like 4 or 5 new guys every season, and I just don't really see it as successful plan for them. And especially we keep talking about the Braves since we already talked about the Phillies. I mean, the Braves, I think, could turn to like the Dodgers of the NL East if they even haven't already, of just kind of dominating the division for like the next 10 years to come.
They're used to that. They did that all throughout the 90s with Maddox, Smoltz, and Glavine.
Yeah, they won like 15 straight division titles or something like that.
It was some
I think
crazy.
if
I remember that.
anybody's going to compete with the Braves, they're going to have to do it now. They're going to have to try to do it now before those
Right.
guys
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
really take off.
yeah, especially like Soroka before he comes back, and we know you
Mhm.
never know with Achilles injuries because you just.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
Kevin
like the
Durant.
worst injury.
Yeah, Kevin Durant missed all last NBA season, but the MLB season is a little bit longer, and he did get it. Well, I guess he did got it later on in the year,
Yeah. Yeah,
August.
that's a
So
big thing with the shortened season.
yeah, so for Soroka to come back, they have to aim for maybe like later on in the year and hope that he comes
Yeah.
out gunning. That he doesn't have to
Mhm.
take like a couple of starts to get back into it. That he comes in and can start shutting down teams because it was obvious for the Braves in that NLCS series with the Dodgers. We saw it firsthand. They didn't have enough gas to get past the Dodgers after they
Yeah.
went up 3
Yep.
games to 1.
And that's the thing too with even with Soroka's injury is that he's gonna have to do rehab starts. He might not be 100% until like mid September. Like even if he pitches at all. Like I think Atlanta thinking that he will, and I haven't seen anyone say this, but just I think thinking that he'll be the same pitcher he was before the injury in the playoffs, I think is wishful thinking. I think 2022, I think is when we will see like the all-star
Right.
type pitcher.
Right. Yeah. Max, what's your thoughts on Mike Soroka?
No, I agree with everything Evan said. Mike Soroka is a great pitcher. We all know that, but only time will tell if the injury that he had this year is going to play a part in his career. I do expect to see him back late next year. I don't think it's going to be a possibility for him to come back any sooner than probably end of August, September.
Okay. So we're talking postseason already, and I guess we can end the show on this, just to put you guys in the spot and really make you think baseball. Let's do the way too early World Series predictions. Way too early. Like it's December. Let's just have some fun with it.
I think you know where this is going to go.
I think you know who me and Maggie's AL picks up because if we don't pick him and it happens, this is what I was getting ripped on because I picked the White Sox to win in my playoff bracket I submitted, and whenever people said stuff to me, I would tell them if it happened and I didn't pick them, like what am I doing? Like,
Yeah. Well,
they got to pick them.
Well, I did an NBA preview show on my podcast at Spartan Stream. I don't know if you watched it, Evan, but we fill out like a bracket and what we thought the playoffs would look like when the season
Mhm.
ended, and I didn't put the Bulls on there because I didn't think the Bulls were good enough with Jim Boylan as a head
Yeah.
coach. So I was like, there's a side of me that wants them to make it. Like they're like I'm the Chicago boy, like I'm gonna pick them, and then there's the part of like I know they're not going to make it, so I'm just totally going to act like they're not there and say they're going to just miss it.
Yeah.
So I got ripped on for that. So I know exactly what you're talking about. So obviously, I know where you guys are headed. AL champions for the 2021 year is the Chicago White Sox. Who
Yes,
do they
sir.
meet in the World Series?
Go ahead, Evan. I'll let you go first.
NL. I mean, I think the lazy pick is the Dodgers, so I'm gonna avoid that. I'll go White Sox Braves. I'll talk about the Braves a lot this show. I mean,
Okay.
the White Sox kind of have the same build as they kind of a lot of the young talent. They have very similar roster structure, and I think that would be. I think I'll go AL championship is going to be White Sox versus Yankees. Sox winning in 7 with Giolito, and then the NL is going to be Padres Braves.
Okay.
The series we all wanted.
All right, Mags. You got White Sox, and who are they playing?
I'm going to go San Diego Padres.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you think
Tatis is going to play against his former team in the World Series.
okay. All right. Since you guys picked White Sox, I want to do something different. So I don't think it'd be fun for me to sit here and agree with you two on everything. I think the World Series would be the New York Yankees because maybe they actually stay healthy, make a good run at this thing, and they cruise by the easy AL East. Because if the Rays trade Blake Snell, I just don't see them being competitive, and that's the only team that really competed with them last year. And then I picked the San Diego Padres. Those would be my two teams because I think the Dodgers are getting older, and I just don't see them making any moves. I think the only thing I think what they should do is call up Gavin Lux and finally let him play, and maybe let Justin Turner finally be done with the team. So then, and then I think the Padres finally come together, and they make that run at the World Series for the first time since, what was it, like 1998, 1999?
I definitely could see it.
All right, so any final thoughts, boys, before we close it for the night?
Nope, just
Mild stove.
Mild stove. Well, the fun part is that Evan's background says Lefty Grove, and let's just say that me and Brian Kenny do not agree on our top 10 pitchers since the year 1920. And Lefty Grove happened to be on top of the list, and
Yeah.
he's not on top of mine.
The backstory of this screenshot's currently my background is I like to change Wikipedia pages to our friends' names onto things. I changed the center field name to Grant Harris as the All-Star game 1939. Like Grant Harris was a starting center fielder, and as of 5 months ago, they still hadn't changed it. So Grant Harris is
No
still
way.
the starting
No,
center fielder.
You say
Yeah, it
1930.
says it right there. Look at the click thing. I can't do it.
I saw it.
You say 1939?
Yeah, I don't look at the All-Star games that these guys are in. I don't remember the exact one. We could end it. We could end it since we're kind of muttering on now.
So thanks everyone for listening to the first ever Mild's Kitchen. I hope you enjoyed and had a good few laughs. So tune on to the next episode, and we hope you have a good rest of your night.